Welcome to the Off the Tools podcast with me, Andy Jones, and
Wayne Bettess. I thought I'd just do an Andy and pretend I forgot.
I thought you were trying to find an appropriate sound effect.
No, I think I've given up with the sound effects. I think not given up. I might. Yeah, I want that one. What are they called? Like, this is the best one I can find so far. It's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I need to.
That's what you get for that. Anyway, So let's get on point. So,
what is the point, Andy Jones? What is it today? What are we doing? Who are we talking to? What are we doing? What is the point of this? Why am I here?
What is life?
Lead us
thinking about going on your own.
Sorry, go on.
Getting carried away. So you want to go on your own. Here's where to start. This, I'll caveat it, it's also applicable to the lads that have maybe just gone on their own or maybe been on their own for a little bit, but are not quite getting the traction that they wanted from it. They maybe thought they'd hit the ground running a little bit better, but they haven't. So let's sit with that. So very, very common topic on the forums. We have skirted over it before. Going on your own is sort of seen as the golden sort of, the drive, the point where I want to reach, the point where I want to get to. However, it's crazy to me to see such a common thread online of people who are thinking about going on their own, asking other people what they should charge. Now, this sort of term of race to the bottom that floats around in the industry, that is because a lot of the pricing in the game has been constructed by other tradesmen who are then trying to compete on price and not on value. And as a result, you get the race to the bottom. So I always try and comment as much as I can on these posts because there was one, I think it was last week, about a guy saying, yeah, thinking about going on my own, going to charge 75 an hour for the first hour and then 40 an hour for after that. And me being the realist that I am, just basically said, you will end up going bankrupt if you do that, or you'll be working 6 days a week. It's like, that is not enough. And a quick breakdown, I'm not sure if those were the exact figures, but a quick breakdown, put him on making about 30 grand a year, charging that. I think he was saying he wants to charge, was it £300 a day?
Yeah.
Which, yes, that would work fine if you got it every single day. But what's often missed and is key point number one, it's all right generating an hourly rate, and you need to get on the pricing calculator. Free resource. Wayne will drop the link while I'm talking. But it's all right saying I want to check, this is my day rate, but if you're not getting that every day, then it's not going to work. You also have to look at what you can target, and that's going to work for you. If you're a really good breakdown engineer and you're saying, well, this is my day rate, you're never going to be implementing your day rate. Equally, if you're an installer and you're saying, well, here's my hourly rate, my service price, then you're probably not going to lean into that. So a few points on that. So point number one, start here, work out your pricing, use the profit calculator to work out, the pricing calculator to work out what you should be making and what kind of profit, because what's the point in going on your own and taking all of the stress and shouldering all the shit if you're not going to make more money or have more free time than when you're employed? So as a fully employed gas engineer, you'd expect to earn anything between 40 and 50 grand, maybe slightly more and more experience. But let's say on average across the country, 40 to 50 grand, plus you get in the van to commute to work to. You're probably going to get bonuses, plus the obvious incentives of holiday pay, sick pay, pension, etc. So if you're not going to make quite a bit more, or you're going to make the same and work less, then again, what is the point? This is that sort of comes back to, it's seen as the holy grail. Why? Like, because it's so much fucking harder than it used to be, which is why some of these points that we're going to mention are so important. So first, get your pricing nailed down. If you're thinking about charging less than £100 per hour, then don't bother. It's 2026. If you're charging less than £100 an hour plus that, there's no point in going on your own. Put a lot of effort into working that out. So, and again, another common mistake, charging different prices for different things. Time is money, time is time. Don't be charging 50 quid for a tap and then charging 100 quid for a boiler service, because it's going to take, similar amount of time. And break it all down, and also lean into what works for you as well for that pricing. If you're a really shit breakdown engineer, trying to push that for your pricing, or if you're not that good on installation, then you're going to struggle to be competitive. You're trying to break that down as an hourly rate. You want to drop in point number 2? Well, I have some more electrolytes.
Yeah, I've forgotten what point number 2 is. My brain is all over the place today, guys.
So again, missing the mistake of, or making the mistake of going old school still. So again, another common theme on the threads. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. Oh, too soon. Bless you.
Again, it's just going at things from an old school perspective.
Yeah. Oh,
so not embracing a job management software.
Yeah.
And someone asked the other day, what was it? Where can I get branded certificate pads from?
Yeah.
It's like fucking 2026. I was using them in 2015. Branded pads. It's like, what?
Yeah, finger the past, didn't they? They're for the museums these days, aren't they?
Yeah, because if you're using paper gets lost. How are you doing annual reminders, things like that? So yeah, point number 2 off the back of that is really making sure you have a system or multiple systems in place that's going to make the day-to-day running of your work better, as well as making it easier. The diary management's easier. Plus,
but Andy, I've got no money. I can't do that because it costs money. That's like obviously what most people are going to listen to. Yeah, that's what I was presuming you would answer. Yeah, if you are starting a business and you haven't got some level of resources to invest in that business, then maybe you shouldn't be starting the business, because you couldn't open a shop without any systems or stock or anything like that, So why do people feel that they can just start a trades business because they have the skill set to do it? It's a crazy mentality, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because again, this is that sort of thinking in the past. Yes, you could get away with that in the past. You just jump out on your own, get your van sign written, and start posting some flyers and think it'll work. But nowadays, the competition from the lads that are doing it right is so fierce that you're doomed to fail. It's really like, to go off on a small tangent, it's a little bit sort of heartbreaking in a way when I read some of these posts, which is why I'm quick to comment on them, even though it probably looks like I'm being a bit of a dick. But the lads coming in saying, yeah, I'm gonna start off competitive. I'm gonna charge £60 an hour, £60 for a boiler service, build up my customer base, and then I'm gonna scale the business from there. And I'm like, it's gonna fail. It's doomed to fail.
Yeah.
Because even if you're able to win that work, you're gonna end up with a base full of £60 customers. You're gonna make less than money than you would in a job, and then you're gonna be stuck because you've not got the mindset and the business acumen, unless you join Off the Tools, free plug, that you're not going to think in the way of, actually, I need to push and push and push. And then you're going to be scared of losing those customers. So what's going to happen is you're going to be stuck with £60 customers, and you're going to go nowhere, and it's going to be too hard to push those.
You're just going to end up being a busy fool, being the man in the merchants. Yeah, I'm stacked out. Yeah, but you're not actually building anything. Yeah. And that's easy. Yeah, that's the easy choice. And that's why so many do it, because it's easy just to go in low, get busy, and then you feel like you're achieving something, when in reality 5 years will pass and you'll look and you'll be like, hang about here. You know, I used to get holiday pay. I used to finish work and be finished. And we don't sell working for yourself very well, do we? You know,
we don't sell half-assed working for yourself very well.
That's the key.
You're gonna do it. You got to be all in, aren't you?
You got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it properly.
Like, so another point as well, and after that, you need to be accepting that there'll be a period of time, potentially a couple of years, where you're going to be in the trenches. You're going to be deep in the trenches. If you want to grow a business, you can't swan around like you're employed with the same attitude. It's going to be out trudging the streets, delivering flyers. It's going to be working late to make sure you're making enough money, because there's no point in, you can't try, even if you match your income, you've got to think about where the lead's coming from. So you're going to have to be out there making more money so that you can push money back into marketing. Because again, you've all heard me say this a million times, the lads that say, I don't do any advertising, I've never needed to, and wear it like a badge of honor. That is no longer viable in this industry, because the landscape has changed. And again, sorry if you don't like what I'm saying, but that's just the reality. The landscape have changed, and it's not like the lads, and it's, you know, this is no slight on you, on your skill set. You've probably built your customer base off being shit at what you do and being nice to customers, etc. But customers are inherently impatient now, so you're not going to achieve many new customers doing that, because people will just jump on Google and search. So they're going to end up at, you know, Check a Trade. They're going to find a Google ad. They're going to be using SEO, things like that.
That brings me on perfectly to like one of the key points that I think so many businesses neglect, is having a proper, and when I say proper website, I don't mean these fucking tin pot 300, 400, 500 quid websites. You know, a proper website that in 2026, right? Having a what I call a brochure website is no good. Okay, the SEO doesn't like it. The AI certainly doesn't like it. They need to be information hubs. Okay, they need to be full of information that not only the systems can read, all the AI searches, because that guy's right, little gold rush here. Fucking, you need to be working on that. You know, I've spent the last year fully understanding what all these AI systems are going to want and need, and 95% of the websites out in the world right now are getting left behind, you know. So if you haven't got a couple of grand at least to spend on a website, again, you know, maybe starting the business isn't for you. But for a business starting out now, having that hub, that good solid foundational website that customers can be pointed to, SEO will pick up, AI will pick up. You know, it's a fundamental. It's as important, in my opinion, it's as important as having a van and having tools. If you have it, and like I said, go on my website, warmerhome.com. Okay, so WARMAHOME, warmerhome.com, and you will see the level of websites that we are now starting with. It's something that I only did offer to inside Off the Tools Alliance, but I'm now offering it out to the general public, because there's such a huge demand for properly built, decent, foundationally built. So not just looking pretty, they need to obviously they obviously need to look pretty, right? But they need to be functional for the user. They need to contain good quality fundamentals in the back end with all the codings and everything. You know, building a website on Wix or whatever them sites are called, you know, it's just not gonna cut it in this day and age. You need to invest properly in a website, whether you're starting out or whether you're in business now. So yeah, go over to the website and have a look at the level of websites that we are building. Like I said, I've never actually sort of publicly spoke about the website builds that we do, but I'm seeing it as a huge need, especially in the early days. This is the early days of AI still. So if you can get ranking on the AI searches, it's a little bit like WhatsApp and text message. You know, for a generation, text messaging was the leading platform until 2010 time, when WhatsApp come out, and then year on year on year, WhatsApp slowly replaced text messaging as the #1 platform. And SEO is still important because it plays a very big part in the AI searches, but the AI searches are just going up and up literally daily. More and more people are using things like ChatGPT, Google AI, using Perplexity, Grok. All of these platforms are stealing the traffic from what were native searches. So again, but back to the point of this podcast, if we were starting out, you know, after the van, after the tools, and after what Andy spoke about, a solid, proper website is a no-brainer. You know, it has to be in place because yes, you can do flyers. Yes, you can do leaflet drops. Yes, you can put banners up. You can do all of that. But you need to be driving people to be able to learn a bit more about you and be helpful and showcase information. And I don't just mean blogs, right? Blogs are 2015. You know, they need to be helpful, insightful questions, answers, you know, clear dialogue, like explaining how things can be helped, how you can help them and how to fix things. And yeah, you know, like I said, go over to my website and you'll see a prime example. And on the website, there's some examples of some recent projects that we've done, implementing all of the skills that I've been honing in on over the last couple of years on as this has all emerged. Yeah, so that was just another point. Sorry, Andy, I just segued us a little bit there.
Yeah,
but
no. Touch point. So first 90 days. So we're going to keep this one. I'll try and keep this short and sweet. But
okay.
First thing I'd do, pricing calculator, work out what you need to charge to ideally make more money than you was in your job. Otherwise, again, what is the point?
Yeah.
Point number one. Point number two, select your job management software. Do not try and go on your own without a job management software. You are doomed to fail.
Yeah.
Even if you can make it work with the paper cert, how are you going to send annual reminders? It will turn into a shitstorm. Point
you just
number
leave
two,
so much money on the table, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Even if you manage to do it manually, what are you going to do? Keep it in the stack, pull the customer data from it, manually email them, manually text them, get a job management software, get ServiceMate. Wayne will pop the link up now while I'm talking to the Off the Tools software page. We can have a chat about any of these softwares that I'm about to talk about. Get ServiceMate. Yes, there's others out there. There's other cheaper ones out there. You can get, Tradify, Gas Engineer software, etc. But if you're meaning to do it properly, don't half-ass it. Don't cut corners. Get a proper job management software that's going to do way more than just send them certs. You want to be able to run in diaries. If your plan is to have some staff, don't fucking bother with a cheap one-man band type software, even if it's for later down the line. Get started with ServiceMate. It's the best domestic job management software, not just from a usability. It has the most open API, things like that we spoke about before. It does all of the stuff that that you need to start with, and then it can do more later down the line. So it can book your jobs in, run your diaries. It can send booking confirmations, booking reminders, a text when you're on the way to the customer. It can integrate with your Apple Maps in your van. It can take you straight to the job. The customer can track you when you're on your way, like an Uber. It will then also allow you to do your certs in the jobs, and then it will automatically send annual reminders, and you can set all that yourself. So you can send, for example, an 11-month boiler service reminder. And
as an added bonus, you don't end up with a camera roll full of photos of jobs because you store it all in the system. You take the photos in the job management system. They're attached to the job, so everything is housed nicely in one place. So as you grow, other people can add their own photos to jobs, and you can see a history of things. And it's not all just reliant on, most people use their personal phone, as their business phone. So it gives a nice clear separation between work and life, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Next thing, website.
Yep.
Website. So
absolutely fundamental.
A good website, you've got to be found. As again, what you can do with a job management software like ServiceMate, you can then start to integrate it you can integrate a review collection process with something like Review Lion, where then you will, once the job's completed, automatically it will ask that customer for a review. That will just scale your reviews without you having to do anything. If you don't have a job management software, you're going to be trying to do that manually. Yes, it can be done, but what about when you forget? What about when you, oh, now it's been a week since I did that job, shit, and then everything turns into chaos. When you get busy, that's going to fall off the wayside. You want to be automating that. Reviews are the currency at the minute of word of mouth. They've replaced word of mouth. People aren't down the pub asking for someone now. And if they are they going to be your type of customer? You're going to want these premium customers who want that quick response. They want the stuff we've just spoke about with the reminders and the notifications and the text on the way. Get your reviews built up. That's going to better position your business. If you can afford it, even if it requires putting it on a credit card, get the van wrapped. That's going to start to build credibility. What you can then 100%. Do is pull that design from the van and implement it into some flyers, which then comes on to the next point of make sure you're dropping flyers. They're very cheap, very overlooked. Wayne refers to it as primitive marketing. It's very, very overlooked nowadays because it's so easy to do everything online. But they're very cheap. They just use time. At the start of your journey, you're going to have a lot of time and not much capital.
So use the assets that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So match the van that way. I'll give you a quick run through. I'm trying to keep this as short and sweet as possible. Quick run through. You get to the street where your job's in. You complete your job. After that, you do 5 flyers each side of the house you've worked. 10 across the road. You've now leaflet dropped that street. Your flyer matches your van. Everyone's seen what's going on. They can maybe speak to that customer in that street. Oh, what did you have done? Oh, I had a boiler service. He did a cracking job. I got a text when he was on his way. And that's how you scale. That's how you leverage the modern technology of your job management with primitive marketing of that. Next step is, hang on, a dry throat. Next step is start to implement a more premium quoting system. So by now, Quote Lion should be ready, I reckon.
Yeah. To the public, it will be. So I'll bring up the link.
So something like Quote Lion. So again, what you're doing is you're able to template all your quotes. So then if somebody rings up and goes, oh, I'm looking for a boiler service. Yeah, no problem. I can sort that out for you. If you just check your inbox, I've sent you a quote over. Have a read through that. It covers exactly what we do on a boiler service, just how in depth we do it, and what you get afterwards. So you get your certificate, you get your annual reminders we just spoke about. And then lastly, and this obviously is a little bit of a curveball. We've just done a podcast on it. I would, as quickly as possible, move towards having someone else answer the phone. Ideally, a female. They're better received on the phone. We've spoke about it a million times, but that will instantly elevate your business. You can, and for a lot of guys as well, it might be an easier option than you might think. If you can call in a favor from mum, sister, wife, niece, whatever it might be. If your wife doesn't work, you can hit the ground running.
Yeah,
if your wife doesn't work because she's doing the childcare, once that school run's done, bang, the phone goes through to her. She answers the phone. If you're using a job management software, then bang, she answers the phone. She books the job in. Next thing you know, you've got a fully functioning business, and you can knuckle down and be the engineer. You've not got to worry about answering the phone. You'll get more jobs done. You'll get them done better. You're not distracted. I think that's fair enough. I think that's going to be 90 days. But
yeah, again, you did well there, mate. You did well.
Just one little point on it. You are going to need a little bit of capital to do that with. You cannot just go, oh, I'm going on my own. What savings you've got? Fuck all. You're going to need some capital. You're going to need your job management software. You're going to need some other softwares. You're going to want to get the van done, etc. You're going to need some capital. Ideally, you're going to want something in the realm of, I would say, 15 to 20 grand, ideally. I mean, we've not even spoke about marketing, online marketing, but
because realistically, I would say 15, give or take 5 grand either side is a very good starting point to give the business the best chance in life. Because like things like websites, a couple of grand, van wraps, a couple of grand, building out the right systems, you know, two, 3, 4 grand, whatever, depends on the levels that you're going to, you know, then you start looking at like workwear and, you know, professionalism and all of that. Yeah, it's probably creeping 15 to 20. I think if you want to make a serious attempt, that is, you know, you could just do the old school route and go like everybody else does and just bumble along. But if you want to kickstart, if I was starting today, if I had to start from the beginning, I wouldn't start without 15 to 20 grand ready to use and invest. Again, that word invest, not spend. I would invest that money to give myself the best start in life, and that would be everything that myself and Andy have just discussed in this podcast, and everything that we've discussed in the last hundreds of hours of discussions, you know.
And if you don't have something, it's not just invest, it's a little bit of a buffer as well, that you would want to be able to not get so panicky about trying to secure any jobs you can, because you've got that little bit of a buffer in place. So that's going to allow you to be a little bit more steadfast with your pricing structure. So you're going to be able to actually, well, you know, you can be a little bit more resistant. You're not going to bend. You're going to go, actually, well, I really need that 60 quid. So I'm going to just do that job for 60 quid. You can stick to your guns, because the reason the pricing side of things is so important is you won't feel it at first. You'll feel the benefit at first. If getting the 60 quid job means either getting 60 quid or getting nothing, in the short term, you're going to want it because, well, it's 60 quid, you know, better than nothing.
Yeah.
But what a lot of the lads miss is, well, actually, if I keep doing those 60 quid jobs, you're going to end up with a shitload of 60 quid customers.
Yeah. You're filling your pond with the wrong type of fish, aren't you? You can't moan that you're not catching carp if you haven't put the right bait on to catch carp. You know, you got that was a different analogy. I like that one. I don't use. I'm not a fisherman. I threw it in there.
So it's,
and hopefully I reeled you in as well.
It was so cringy. It was actually funny. What's going to happen is it's going to bite you in the ass later down the line, because you're just going to end up with it feels great, like you said before, you're going to end up busy, and then you're just going to be that busy fool, and you're going to end up with a diary full of 60 quid customers, and you go, yeah, I'm done well, I've only been going a couple of years and I'm stacked. But then you look at the profit per year, and the accountant's like, yeah, you're not made any profit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
ultimately,
the ultimate point is join Off the Tools Alliance.
Join us. Come and join the revolution that we are starting to build, you know, and it might be an extreme word, but genuinely, I'm treating it as that, because we are trying to move people out of the 20 years ago, you know, out of the dark ages of the old school way of running businesses. And we're trying to bring them into, we are in 2026, for Christ's sake. You know, time is flying by. You know, our most of our listeners, right, from the data, are between 30 and 45, right? In your heads, I'm talking to you guys directly. So if you're younger, fair play, you probably got hair and have time. For those lads specifically, you know, how long ago does 2010 feel? 2012 feel? Feels like a blink of an eye, right? But look how much has changed. Look how much the world has evolved in that 10 to 15 year period. You know, in that next 10 to 15 year period, guess what? We're going to be thinking about pensions, retiring, fucking shit, life failing, like, you know, body giving up on us and all that sort of shit. So we don't have time. We don't have time to mince about. If you want to start building something of substance, if you want to start building something that maybe you can sell, or maybe that you can pass on to family members, or just secure your future, you've got to do it now. Because if you leave it like you have been leaving it, we have listeners, right? We have members join us 3-4 years after first expressing an interest. I see a message come through, right? And obviously on Messenger and WhatsApp, you can go through your history. Some people are from like before COVID, where they reached out and asked for some advice, and ultimately their situation hasn't changed. You know, they've just worked hard for that period of time, and that isn't enough. That isn't a bloody enough anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, there's my little passionate rant out. Sorry if I bursted your eardrums in the microphone then, but I do strongly have this desire to try and help people move out of their current position and move into something that better fits them and what they want. And it does. Hopefully it comes across, because it is genuine. You know, it's a genuine passion of mine that I can part some of my hard-earned lessons, my scars, you know, and help avoid other people falling into that same minutiae of bullshit that is out there, you know. And yeah. Anyway, that's my rant over. I come alive at the end there, didn't I? It's quite quiet on this one. I've got a banging headache. So
no, I love it. Yeah. So yeah, again, as we always say, we offer a free discovery call. If you're thinking about going on your own, or you've just gone on your own and you're not quite getting the traction you would like, jump on the website, book a discovery call, jump on the phone with me that way. No commitment, not asking anything. Just we'll help however we can. We are a bit different from a lot of the other coaching trade coaching groups. Did
you just say trade crooks there? I'm sure you switched the word in crook.
No. There is certainly some of those.
Let's not start a war today and pick on any of them specifically.
But no, we're a little bit different, a bit more at ground level, let's call it, because again, as we said, me and Wayne both have live heating businesses, so we can we're not just like you know, like Wayne's just said, we're not giving advice from 2015, we're giving advice from now, what works in 2026. So yeah, jump on a call, we can have a chat.
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge point. I think we mentioned it on the Q&A. I don't think we've mentioned it on a podcast properly, but you know, I do believe that we are the only trades business coaching company out there that actively are involved in trades businesses, as in we both own our own trades businesses. There seems to be a common trend that they park that because they can make a load more money over on the coaching side. Yep. But we sort of purposely didn't want to fall into that trap of just being a coach, because a lot of the time the methods and the processes are starting to get outdated. If you're not involved in the industry, you know, from a hands-on perspective, if you don't have staff, if you don't have phone calls coming in, if you don't have all of the problems that running a trade business happens, you could quite easily get softened by it and forget what is needed and not be current. So I see it as a huge asset that we are still actively building trades businesses, you know, because it means that we're not just chatting shit, you know, we're chatting stuff that we're doing in our businesses, that we're trying, that we're experimenting with, what works, what doesn't work. You know,
that's why we've got them, really, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And why would you give up a business that's making money? What, like, you know, why would I shut down my business? It brings me in thousands and thousands of pounds on recurring revenue, money every month. Why would I just turn it off or sell it or whatever when it's an asset? It's making me money. You know, what, it doesn't seem to make a sensible business decision, does it, to sell, unless there's other reasons to get rid of it. But yeah. Hey ho, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you have a very great week. Hopefully we've pivoted your mindset just a little bit, giving you maybe that little bit of confidence to move the business forward. Yeah, I'm going to actually end it. So God bless everyone. See you soon.